Hey guys, it's C2Dev Cyberbob here. I wanted to make a quick follow-up video for my more premium, expensive, big boy Undead deck. This is the actual deck I've been using both in the dev setting against Ventre because it's fun, and to rank and ladder more efficiently. It is substantially more expensive than the first deck I showed to create, but I think that I've gotten some requests for both, so I'd like to go ahead and show it off a little bit, and I'll post the deck code as well so you guys can build this. I said I would do that. Um, so I'm already just going to jump right in because it's already pre-built, but I just want to explain it real fast. Um, First of all, you'll see at the one cost we have 2 adaptive armors. Now, obviously this can heal or give armor, but it's really useful for the shield runner, and this gives you some early game kind of tempo, or you kind of take a lead and put some pressure on. If you can get this on the shield runner, it's really, really good. There's a few other units it's okay on, but mostly this is the synergy you want to get. And this applies to Beyond Undead, obviously. You know, I should have said we're using Druids as our secondary faction option. We can do a few others. I've seen some good Warlock ones, and maybe we'll try one like that as well. But I want to get through this one first because I think this is one of the best decks out there. Dwarven Mithril, again, this has still got some beginner aspects to it. This is a card that's just generally great because it cycles. So if you need to make a trade and you can push your armor above the trade, it's pretty excellent if you have the board. You could use it on your castle if you're in a pinch, and it lets you draw. So I think this is just... This card is almost never wrong to use unless you have something way more explicit in a certain deck. So that's pretty simple. The Rider here, this has the Death Rattle that clears, or it does 1 damage to other units. So this will clear like things like Rat Aggro and the Peasants in general. You know, as I'm going through this, I think I should explain kind of the end of the deck because we didn't get to use it in the other one, which is Screams of the Fallen. So this is important because really, as we're doing damage and as we're losing units, we are building towards our final power burst, which is Screams of the Fallen, which is, it does 1 damage per friendly unit that died this game. And I've seen other people using this pretty well in ladder. This is something where I've now seen, you know, if you can hold off long enough, you can get a 40 plus damage drop in this. So it really... A lot of these things that are board clearing or remove your own units or you're just bombing them, that's all fine because they're all counting towards your screams. So the shield runner we talked about, it's a good blocker. It's good with adaptive armor. It can have some tempo. Touch of Life is just another card draw. So we don't have to go into that too much, and some healing. Knight of Flowers, so this is a legendary. It's sort of just a all-around decent card. Like it's just statted well, and it provides you 2 Sunflowers, which are more bodies. It's a good tempo card. This is not one of the more mandatory cards, but if you have the shards or the cards to do it, I think this belongs in the 3-cost slot. The Reaper, of course, is required to do any Tombstone type of style deck. Thorndrake. Thorndrake, you know, he's going to synergize with the Knight of Flowers, and he also drops a Sunflower. So you're starting to get the tombs here, and you get the bodies from there to have from his last will to be able to build up your screams. War Cow. I think War Cow is actually one of the maybes that could go either way on this. War Cow used to be a 3/4, and that made it kind of absolutely in. There's a few other choices you can get with some different last wills here. I'm using War Cow right now. This is one of the cards you could change out for something else. Around the same, I'd keep it in the cost slot, but like if you ever want to do the filtering and look, let me see. So we certainly could use, like, Bone Drakes are really strong. That's something that's possible. We could use, let me see here. You know, Dark Magicians aren't too bad. You could even use a spell, like a Drain Life spell. Stone Drake has some potential as well, which basically, this is an inert thing. It can be used for blocking and awakens with huge stats for its cost if your opponent uses a spell. White Knight I've seen used as well. I think that's a pretty viable alternative. I think we're going to keep Workout because it is a good target. And if you have any board presence at all, and remember it also buffs your supply depot as well as your castle. This is still going to be something that's a pretty good pick, but there are definitely other options in here for that particular slot. Forest Revolt, love the Forest Revolt. We're using Druids. It's a spell. It lets you clear kind of at will, but also provides more bodies and more tombstones. Angel of Death is just an overall fantastic card. I believe it's in the current battle pass now. This card is just Death Strike when it slays an enemy, resurrect it under your control. So if it has Death Strike, which means it kills you if it hits you, it's just a big threat, something that kind of forces the energy of removal. I can kind of change the board state a little bit. It's just a very powerful card. Not a necessary one either, but for the cost slot, I would say it's about as good as you're going to get there. Commander's Ethic. Now this is something that I would say is required. I would definitely put this in. It's synergizes with tombstones and gets you more zombies. The War Elephant. This is a phenomenal card in general. I think if you guys play the game enough, you'll realize this is just a great card. It actually generally doesn't provide more bodies when it takes damage, so your goal is to keep it on as long as possible and take as much damage as it can. You can even self-damage it. On top of that, if you ever are playing someone that does use screams against you, or something like Corpse Explosion, each soak creates another unit. So it's actually like the hugest soaking potential here in a single card, and it really deters those kind of single tick AoE type things like Corpse Explosion and Screams and a few other things. Even the lighter like Blazes or like Fan of Knives, the single damage, 2 damage AoEs, you're just creating more. Your opponent's creating more units for you. Corpse Explosion, you might see that the cost was raised to 6. This card is probably the top OP card in the game. I think this is appropriate. I mean, I actually think it should probably cost more, if I'm being honest with you. But this change does not make this card out of your deck at all. It's still phenomenal. Even with a slight cost shift, I would absolutely have 2 of these. Noraban, he's one of the titular characters. He raises skeletons from from up to 3 tombstones, and he's just another mandatory. You want this constant tombstone power pressure situation, and then you want to cycle in it. This is the real undead flavor. You want to just amass armies of hordes of undead, have them be killed, resurrect them again, have them be killed. Like, you just want to overwhelm and swarm your opponent, and then if that isn't enough to kill them, you can finish with the Screams of the Fallen. Spectral Rider, phenomenal card, especially if you can get 2, 3. I mean, he's usually going to get at least 2, but if you can get 2 or 3 of his damage dealt, he's a great swing card because he could kill a lot of things just with his charge, and then he'll also place another unit, and then they still have to deal with him. So if they can't spell remove him, you'll get a second, summon off of that. Fairy Queen, absolutely mandatory if you want the premium package of this deck. Because the last will splits into more fairies with charge, this is just one of the most powerful cards in the game, period. This can be slotted into a lot of decks. I love this card. It is susceptible to being silenced, but other than that, I mean, there's other things that could be targeted, so, a good chance you're going to get this. Fairy Queen, phenomenal. I'd say more important than Angel of Death. Maldrin, another one. This is the premium one, guys, so this is going to cost a lot of shards, and a lot of cards. The Maldrin, the Warden, whenever he takes damage, he summons 3 Berserk Squirrels. So this is where you can get tons of bodies. This is actually where you can rack up the most. And if somebody uses Screams against you, each tick of Screams will create the Berserk Squirrels. So if you're going to counter Screams, you're going to counter like single tick AoE or small tick damages. This can rack you up. I mean, obviously, it's the number's there for you. 3 each time he takes damage. Without an immediate kind of silence situation, you should be getting at least 7 bodies out of this card. I've seen you can get 15 quite easily. This is going to be it for the premium package, absolutely. And this is going to make the game go longer because this gives you a guardian. So you're playing a much longer game here, a little less tempo, a little less kind of mid-range than the last Undead deck. This is, you can take basically as long as you want because you're going to finish with Screams of the Fallen. And Screams of the Fallen is basically that's your finisher card. If you can finish without it in a lot of cases here with this, but once you're playing against really good players, this will probably be it. Just be careful; it can be dissipated, so that is something to be mindful of. It doesn't really happen often, and be careful screaming into War Elephants. But this is when your next turn begins. So you play it. There's a passing. They get one more chance to respond, which is basically they need to soak. You deal 1 damage to a random for each friendly that died. You use your own judgment on how close you are to the kill potential of the opponent's castle, but I would say hold off as long as you can, unless you know you have it, because you only get this one shot at this, and I would say, generally speaking, I like to do screams north of 30 damage, which is not that hard to obtain with this deck. And you want to be looking at, if you see your opponent at like 15, 20, at 30, let's say at 15, you're only 15 over, they can that's right at the limit where they could soak it, reasonably. Obviously, you don't have to finish the game with this card, but it is something that is often used to finish the game, and it is, because you don't have other direct damage, it would be ideal if you could. And I've seen this done now against me as well, I think up to 45 damage. So if you can hold off as long as you can, and if you're in a counter Screams match, and you can take the damage, you can bait them into Screams first if you survive, and then immediately counter with it, because you're going to have a lot of your units die, so yours is going to rack up some more points. That is a good way to finish the game, and it's a bit of a chicken fight. So we're going to call this Premium Undead. Okay, and apparently my key is broken on the D. And we're going to do this straight up Skull Fortress there. I think we're good with this. I think we're good with this art here. So that is how you do that, guys. Yeah, that is absolutely how you build this particular deck. The reason I hesitated there is I'm thinking, I think I want to give away some codes to help people build this. I might need to talk to Vontre about this. Let's play for now. I'm going to think about how I want to do that. But this is the premium deck. We'll go ahead and queue. And sorry, I was looking at that. We'll go ahead and queue on this and show you what it looks like. Again, this is the follow-up video to the more beginner budget Undead deck. Okay, I wanted to secretly slip this in the middle of the video here so you can't skip to the end. This is an expensive deck to make. I am including some pack codes. They are limited per user, and they are first come, first serve. Some of them are for 1 card pack, and some of them are for 10 if you're very lucky. I think you can only use 3 max. But good luck, and let's continue to the queue. Alright guys, let's do it. This is a pretty good setup. I don't know if I want the Touch of Life right now. Probably not. Let's go with this stuff. Oh, we got Screams. At least we know we're holding it. If we're in this position, this kind of tells us we could probably take even more time because we know we have it. I mean, I guess you could argue either way, because you could say, well, you could get through the entire deck, but this did take up a slot of something. That is not the most fun thing. I don't want... You know what? Let's do it. Maybe this will just deter him. Okay, we got... Oh. Alright, that's fine. We'll take that. I think that's Troll Toll. Be very careful about playing into Troll Toll. It is... It can cause you a lot of problems early game, so let's assume it is, and... There you go. Boom. We avoided the problem. Don't hit this. That's all we want right now. This game might be a little different because they've... If they don't get my rider, I have a little bit of tempo right here. Wow, this is a weird setup. That sucks. That was not what we wanted. Okay, that's fine. We might have to go after this. I'm saying that because I have some board presence more than expected, because this is actually a later game deck. 2 cost. Huh. Let's keep pressing. I don't think we're in too much danger right now. Are we looking at another Troll Toll? Perhaps. Perhaps. Backdraft. Ooh, the Warlocks is nice in the backdraft. We have this touch right here, but let's press the lead. Now they do have 2 AoEs potential. They have 2 different factions AoEs here, so they could be clearing us. This gives us some protection. The War Elephant would have been nice because we would have gotten the 2 spawns, but it's actually okay because they haven't used the AoEs yet. This is going... This is interesting. Let's take this out. Let's move over here, get this, and keep the pressure up. And I think this Marlton's going to put them on the back foot a lot. I'm not sure we're going to go long enough to see screams. That was not intentional, but this deck has a lot of range to it. Okay, that's something. And so right now our screams is only 2. It's pretty small, but you know, if we can hold this pace, too bad we didn't use the Angel of Death. That would have been great. If we can hold this pace, it might be something we can use at a lower place. I want to keep the Thorn Drake if I can. Because I expect to be AoE'd. You know, it's not that big of a deal. Let me think about this. Okay, now we still need to get 5 more. I think we can do the Thorn Drake into it. These tombstones are so cloggy. Don't be surprised if we get AoE by this. Probably should have stepped more closer. Oh yeah, they're in kind of bad shape right now. You know, it's hard for them to use both AoEs, so let's go ahead and just put more pressure right now. See how swarmy these undead decks can be? Yep, there it is. So, that's not enough. I kind of was hoping I'd get... this is like, I'm just immediately queuing in and showing you guys right after I make the decks. I don't know what will happen, obviously, in these, but I was kind of hoping I'd get a longer match. I think we could fish a little bit. Ooh, that's interesting. Okay. Well, we can immediately hit for 8. Can we get more out of that? I think we can get 9 if we really want to. Do we really want to? I think this person is... Nope, we did that wrong. We did it wrong. Yeah, there's always something. There's always something with the tombstones. I'm sorry, guys. That was just objectively a mistake. I'm not even going to put anything else on right now. Because I think they have to AoE. And yes, if I lose the game by 2 damage, you can make fun of me. It's fine. At least I like to highlight the mistakes so to help you guys think about that's it. You know, the order in which to play things. Let's see what we got there. Oh! Oh! No! I stood right on... Wow. You guys can make fun of me now. It's fine. You should. It's okay. It wasn't intentional. It does likely mean we have a shot at the screen's finish. I don't... Watch out for magic landmines. They're a thing. Oh no. Don't push me around like this. Oh yeah, look at that. They're still in it. They are very much still in it. So that Screams is not... This is probably a good lesson. That Screams is not at the level yet where I would recommend doing anything with that yet. We're gonna fish for some more. Okay. Sorry guys. I want this to like... Okay, that's pretty good. That's actually, I think we're going to use it, because I think we're going to go for the finish here soon. And this gives us more suicide, so let's do this. Oh my god, I forgot about these tombstones. Alright. This might work out even better. Not intentionally, because we might actually get to see the Screams finish. So you see, we keep building it up, and if he does a big clear here and nothing else, this is why this deck is amazing. It will just further seal their fate. Go for it. Go ahead, clear us. Let's see it. Let's see it. Clear us. Yummy. Yep, fish for those clears. Now, we still see we still have to cut through a good amount. So we actually it would be nice to have a few more deaths still. Oh! Interesting choice. Okay. Wow. Okay. That is actually unfortunate for them. Now, was really weird. That was really weird. Okay. We're not going to focus on that yet. We're going to go with the screams. Do we have the kill here? Remember, the squirrels are going to also fire too. So it's a solid maybe. It's a solid maybe. I'm really hoping so. Because that's the point of this video. Yeah, empty that board for us. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, can you stop this? The answer is no, but we don't actually get to see it. But there you guys have it. That's why this deck is very powerful. You have that powerful finish. I'm gonna post the code. I know it's more expensive, but it is well worth it.